when we feel all the subtle messages from the world telling us, you can't do this, you're forbidden from doing that, if you don't fit this benchmark, you're not allowed here, and you certainly can't have authority over that man in your workplace, and you can't earn more than your partner. It's all there subtly. Yes, it's ancient, it's obsolete, but it's still there, because I've spent 20 years analysing it. And trust me, it's definitely there. So when we do that, this triggers an inner conflict. The subconscious says, no, you can't do that, it's dangerous. Whereas consciously we say, yes, I can. So we have this big inner conflict. And that's what's at the root of women holding back and avoiding the limelight, or not promoting themselves when they're way good enough for a position, not feeling like imposters.
Hello everybody, I'm Suzanne Poole, and with me today is Dr. Anne Whitehouse. Today is the first in a series of chats that I'm putting together with fascinating women that I meet along the way. And we're going to be talking with Dr. Anne Whitehouse today and Friday, and also twice next week. It's, as I said, a new series that I'm starting, and I've asked Anne to join us because we met at the Strategic Alliance Summit about a month ago, and I am fascinated by what she is up to in the world, what she makes available for her clients. And I thought that you, my lovely, amazing people, would be interested to hear more. So, hello, Anne, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. Delighted to be here. Looking forward to our conversations.
Thank you. It's great. Yeah. So thank you for taking the plunge with me and making. This is the first one. So
It is, yeah.
Very exciting. And unlike other Facebook Lives, we're just going to be doing this short and quick. So 15 minutes, because I don't know about you, I don't have the attention span to watch like super long videos on Facebook. So I'm really curious about your background. Tell, like, we've both got interesting backgrounds. Mine
We
is
have.
tell us all about yours. Like, what's behind you?
Well, well, let's talk about you see the design, the geometric design in the background. So it's a sacred geometry. And this kind of leads into what it is that I do, because here we are, 21st century women, and we want to succeed, out in the world, whether we want to be, actuaries or engineers or entrepreneurs or whatever it is. And we are literally, without us realizing it, we are sort of squashed into this sort of hidden box that the status quo, the rules, the benchmarks, the way things have developed over centuries has created the world sort of outside the home. And it's really not an environment which is perfectly aligned with women for so many reasons. And we could get into this in a great deal, but basically we have been forced to sort of crush and suppress parts of ourselves in order to conform without realizing it. You have this, the way I talk about this is that the world outside the home is like the sea, and men had control of that for years. It's just the heritage we have. No judgment here. This is what we've inherited. We were sort of let out into the sea from the freshwater rivers and forced to adapt or die, right? Literally. So, we had to fit into the way things were done. Mm-hmm. And people who were there, the men who were there in all of these institutions, whatever, a couple of decades ago when women first really got the freedom, they will be saying, well, what's the problem? You're here now, you can do what you like, you're allowed to have this career. But what they don't realize is that there are many subtle messages telling us we actually can't be ourselves. We have to fit into these default benchmarks. So how does that relate to my background? Right. And in fact, secret sorceress. Now, this is the point. This is the point. When we are trying to squeeze ourselves into this box, it's all subconscious, of course. We don't realize this. We are, I say, squashing parts of who we are. We are measuring ourselves against a benchmark we can never fit into, because we are never going to fit the male benchmark. We're women. We have our way of doing things,
Mhm.
our way of brilliance, our way of achievement, our more organic or intuitive way of putting something together. Equally valid, different. While we are, trying to squash ourselves in like that, we are going to be judging ourselves as not good enough. But if we detach from all of that and say, well, actually, I'm going to reactivate the magic, the secret magic of what it really is to be a powerful, empowered woman, not what the world has said, but this ancient heritage that we have, to take that into the boardroom, into the conference hall, onto the world stage. That's when we're going to be aligned with ourselves. That's when we're going to be free to really shine without feeling not good enough, without the imposter syndrome. So the secret geometry is a representation of this sort of hidden magic that I'm helping women to awaken as they want to shift the way they're interacting in the world. Sorry, that was rather a long answer, but
No, it's
that's
fantastic. It's really great, Anne, to hear what you're sharing, and thank you so much for all of that. And I can totally hear like the alignment in terms of what it is that I stand for and what you're bringing to the world as well. And it also illuminates the secret sorceress, which I see behind you as well. But I think I mean, speaking for myself as a former kind of in-house lawyer, where it was a very masculine environment with, being forced into this kind of pigeon like hole of, being quite dominant and forceful, aggressive, like beyond assertive, really, in terms of that was what it took to get things done, and the kind of leakiness that brought into my personal life and life outside of work. It was
Right.
really like I can really resonate with that, and that's so much of what it is that my own background and my like what I stand for and my message is all about, in terms of being the full expression of who we are is
Exactly.
so much more powerful for us and so much more impactful. And also, not only like does it make more of an impact in terms of the world, but also it's easier. It's just like it's much less stressful, it's much less tiring, because we're just being who we are. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And tell us, like, in terms of, so tell us more about secretsorceress.com, and specifically like what it is that, how you work, who you work with, what
Well,
you're up to. So curious.
oh, so much. Okay, so Secret Sorceress is my Facebook community, and and the whole of my work is really about a hidden power dynamic. So we think we're empowered. We believe in our rights and believe in our capabilities on the surface, but
Mhm.
underneath there's a whole energy flow which literally goes away from women. And I can talk about this for hours, so I'm going to restrain myself. But what happens is that when we feel all the subtle messages from the world telling us, you can't do this, you're forbidden from doing that, if you don't fit this benchmark, you're not allowed here, and you certainly can't have authority over that man in your workplace, and you can't earn more than your partner. It's all there subtly. Yes, it's ancient, it's obsolete, but it's still there, because I've spent 20 years analyzing it, and trust me, it's definitely there.
Mhm.
So when we do that, this triggers an inner conflict. The subconscious says, no, you can't do that. It's dangerous. Whereas consciously say, yes, I can. So we have this big inner conflict. And that's what's at the root of women holding back and avoiding the limelight, or not promoting themselves when they're way good enough for a position, not feeling like imposters. And what I say is, we are imposters because we are women in a world designed for men.
Mhm.
So all my work at the various levels is working on this hidden level, shifting that power dynamic. So we free ourselves from that hidden response. And then we're in alignment with ourselves. We're no longer fighting ourselves saying, I shouldn't be here.
Mhm.
And that's when confidence skyrockets. That's when we feel safe putting ourselves forward. And that's when we give, a different message. So my big thing that I'm so excited about is my female power voice, which
Oh,
is,
tell us more.
yes. So and my book, which is Pull Back Your Power, that was published about a year and a half ago. And that was my 20 years of research, analysing all of this hidden world, which undermines women without us realising it. And what you'll find is there are key Achilles heel situations. And one in particular is like the meeting, where it's you and you are in a minority.
Mm-hmm.
Either it's all men or it's
Mm-hmm.
other women, but they're also being very aggressive and confrontational.
Mm-hmm.
And women find this kind of situation very difficult to speak up. If they get interrupted or put down or ignored or dismissed, it's very hard to get back into that. And I thought about that, and this is, and if you can reprogram that response in those key situations, like the meeting, or if you are doing a presentation, you're getting heckled, if you are doing a pitch, or if you have got a difficult conversation to have with somebody, if you can reprogram that dynamic to hold your power in those very key situations, that can be enough to tip the balance to get things moving forwards. I mean, we haven't said, but I was an academic in engineering, and those key things are what undermined me again and again and again, and led to my what I call spectacular burnout. So the female power voice is where I actually teach women to change that dynamic, not in beliefs, not in intentions, not in body language or faking it till you make it, none of that surface stuff. We're actually going deeper, using our minds to change the power flow in those key situations, so that you can feel safe under pressure, hold the power under pressure, and find that you're confident being yourself. So this is what I see as my literally my life's work. It undermined me. I've seen so many women in so many careers being undermined and not achieving what they are really capable of, because these things knock them back again and again. And so this is leveling the energetic playing field, I call it.
It's so amazing, like what you're sharing. So much of what you're saying really I recall from my own past and my own career, and it's so much about what it is that I say. Like when we really own ourselves and really are who we are expected to be, then we do stop leaking energy, and we do stop like allowing the external world to influence us. But it takes a sort of awareness at a very deep level, at a very core level of really understanding who we are, to be able to resonate that out in the world. Right. And then
that's the thing, that so much of the personal development is working on just your own self. But then when you go out and you get like a million messages saying no, inevitably it's going to affect you. You need to know how to deal with that on a daily basis, so that you are able to, it can be water for its back, rather than, oh my God, I'm going to put to death.
Exactly. That's so great. I'm just like, I believe in short and sharp, because I have a low attention span. So I'm just really conscious of time. And I did say this would only be 15 minutes. So we are going to have to press pause right now. But we will be back on Friday at 11:30 UK time. And in the meantime, I'm going to ask Anne to share the links with us for her amazing Secret Sorceress Facebook group that she's told us about, and also more information about her book, so that you can find out about that in the comments below. And as I said, we will be back live on Facebook on Friday.
I look forward to continuing our conversation.
Stay tuned.